Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Prison Architect, where in the previous episode we continued on construction over on the left hand side island here, which is our medium and low risk transfer island. We're not going to get prisoners direct from the mainland in here. The idea is for the prisoners in the high sec to want to transfer over, although that may change, which is why we don't have a reception. It's just a security room because, as I said, it's just predominantly for transfers. Either way, we managed to get in a lot of the foundation, which includes the security, staff room, staff canteen, kitchen canteen, etc., with some automatic door openers as well. There has been some changes since that last episode. I've messed around with a couple of foundations in one or two places. I've set some of the door openers back to what they should have been because I accidentally moved them over to, I can't even set it up here. There we go, to like close on trigger instead of open and things like that. It still has not resolved the issue with this being removed to a shared area upon load. It is literally upon load and then it seems to be alright, although now and again the yard does still keep going over to unreachable, which I don't know why, but either way we'll see how we get on. So let's crack on with the building. So we've got the staff room, staff canteen, kitchen canteen, etc. to build. Let's go ahead and probably build the first couple of ones now. We don't really need much planning here. So for the staff room we'll go over to objects and then have a little zoom in and see what it populates this with. So we can see we've got lamps and it's recommended serving tables, but that's actually going to be up the top in the staff canteen, although I'm guessing you can place it in here. Either way, we're going to go for a drinks machine, which is going to go in there. Sadly, the back is facing us, which means it doesn't look very good, but still, we can place these things in here. We'll go for maybe a water cooler, which can go in there, followed by a couple of wide sofas, like that all the way along. Why not? We can do that. In fact, no, let's remove a couple of those, because I want to maybe place one. I want to place a couple so we can like watch TV and such, although maybe we'll go for actual sofas. That's probably best. We'll place a radio in there, followed by a wide sofa on there. We'll sort of mirror that on the other side, allow them to listen to the radio, and then I want not a large TV, although a large TV there would actually function because it will have the area effect to catch all of these sofas on the outside, which is not too bad. Then we can place maybe a couple like that, so it's like a, I don't know, like a meeting area type thing. That seems okay. Snack machine will also go in. Let's see, drinks machine we've got. I think we'll place an arcade cabinet in over on that hand side, the left hand side there. We'll put maybe a football table in. If there's anything you can really put in. Let's remove all of those, put a football table right in the middle, because I think we've got enough seating. That seems to be reasonable. Like I say, snack machine can go in the bottom there, and I think that's about right. Wide sofa, wooden stool, drinks machine, and yeah, that's all of the required items. We'll come back to that and populate it with other things if we need to. Over to the staff canteen, and we can see that it is not... Oh, yes, it is recommending a serving table. So serving table will go in the bottom there, followed by... I think we'll place... Do we place another hat stand on the left? I don't think so. Maybe just like a water cooler or a snack machine, perhaps. Let's place a snack machine on the far end, followed by the serving table like so. So they could come in and... Whoops. Come in and get all the items from there, and then if there's anything left, they can pay some money. We'll go over to our table, and we're going to put in some benches and some seating here, and that is it. Oh, I've also realised that actually there's a bit of a problem. This doesn't have... There's no staff toilets, so we're going to have to put some staff toilets in. What's the best way of doing that? Oh, there you go. Look, it says it can't be accessed. Let's have a quick look at our deployment, and no, it can be accessed. So it just says route, no route. It's probably to do with the transfer ferry. So over here, then, is there somewhere I can alter this so we can have staff toilets? Well, there probably is, but it's just a bit of an oversight there. Let's go over to our planning and see. Brilliant. When we're in planning, we can't see where the structures are around here. I think that is the size that we have. It is the size that we have available. What I'll do then is literally remove that and put 3 toilets along there. It is certainly not accurate nor hygienic, but it is pretty much the only option we have because, well, if you put a door there, it classes this as a separate room and it's just a bit of a nightmare. I'll remove those there and remove that and then place the football table further up so they still have access to all of these items. A little bit cramped, but not too much of an issue. What is an issue is that we've got a door control system there which should be wired up correctly, which it clearly is, but nobody is actually working that door control system, so I guess I'll have to just open that up manually. Alright, so staff canteen, staff room is now getting constructed. The kitchen is going to be similar, however, I think we'll plan off the canteen first. So over to the walls there, going along, we can see that's 27, so we'll probably go for, let's go for objects. Over to, so it's 5 with a bit of a gap, 5 gap, 5 gap, 5 gap, and then it won't fit in there. So instead what we'll go do is remove, have to close that and open back up for some reason. We'll go for maybe 10 to there, a bin, and then 10 to there, or we could go at 15. And have a bin there. I mean, that doesn't really matter, to be honest, does it? Actually, now that I think of it, we could just go just 25 to there, and then, you know, whatever on this side. That's reasonable. What we might do is put a wall there, and then place like a bin there or something. Anyway, so that can go like that. We're going to have in our 4x3s like that for our seating arrangements, and perhaps we could do something like that. Although, considering the amount of people that we're going to have, it's not going to be... I mean, this is already oversized, as I mentioned previously, so we could probably instead then remove those, and then we'll have objects, maybe a gap of 2, and we'll have that and that, followed by that, and then we can have, obviously, the usual sort of row across here where we've got like phones and that sort of thing. So back over to this side, similar sort of deal, and that should be correct. So let's just double check our capacity and see if we've got enough there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Roughly the same on the other side, or I think it's a bit less. So let's go with 32. So we've got 4, 8, 16, 32, loads more, job done. Right, so that's more than enough. If that is not the case, we can always move them and place them in the center or whatever. It should be completely fine. Right, over to our walls and doors, and then to the wall rusty, and then we're going to place the rusty walls in here, and we'll do that. Max speed it out and let the game pretty much glitch out constantly while it tries to build things. It has to be said that as we progress on and build more and more and expand between the islands and add all of the docks in and such, we have seen more and more interesting behaviours, shall we say. But there you are. So far, nothing... I was going to say nothing game-breaking. We have had a couple of game-breaking ones that we've managed to fix, but yeah... Either way, in terms of our current situation, we have day 128, which is 15 hours and 46 minutes played, which is one of the longest, if not the longest, ones that we had. To be fair, we have expanded quite a lot here. 53 grand in the bank, getting 3,384 generic units of currency per day. In terms of staff, we're probably a little bit understaffed, mainly because of the logistics required. Obviously, the amount of travel time is quite large. We have 101 inmates, and of those we can have 125. 84 maximum security, 7 protected, 28 supermax, and 6 a death row. Speaking of death row, we have 1 death row inmate. We also have 15 supermax, 1 protective, and then obviously 84 on our maximum security there as well. All of this on the left hand side is set over to be our normal risk. All of this here will be customized to the custom sector, and then we'll probably watch it break, because that's just the usual thing that we see here. We can see the death row inmates, actually we are able to go through that process now without any great difficulty. 5% there, chance of clemency, likelihood of clemency should I say. Paul Sexton, age 60. Let's see what the deal is there. His prisoner number is 27117092, and sentenced to 64 years for multiple crimes, which is murder, armed robbery, rape, and grievous bodily harm. So we could schedule that execution if we wanted to. In terms of grading, we are on 13% reoffending rate, so it's not ideal, but we obviously have high in supermax, so it's not too bad. Punishment is okay at 6. Reform is low, which we expected. Security is 1 out of, well, -5 to up to 5, and then health is -2. Staff fatalities, sadly 37. Deaths in custody 45, and no prisoners escaping, which is pretty good. 66 paroled early with a 4% chance of 4% reoffending rate, not even chance of reoffending. Anyway, we can see that all the prisoners are now eating. What I'm going to do is go over to our transfers, actually no, probably intake, and we can, if we wanted to, bring in legendary prisoners, which obviously we've got the ratio. It says unavailable. We are bringing in these prisoners, and we may even have one in here, but I haven't yet checked because I was too busy building on the left-hand side. So, yeah. Speaking of that, we can see that this is now completed in terms of the building, so I will go ahead and place some more objects while we are waiting. Just to close that up there and spin this around, placing all of the toilets in there, followed by that section there. We're going to zoom in a little bit, and we want to have some some like nice sinks either side, so that's fine. Actually, place one there, and one there. Yeah, why not? That's fine. And then over on the serving tables and such. So serving tables, standard tables, then the serving tables and such. So there's that. We'll go for a serving table, rotate that around. Just going to scroll to the right, and that's now fine. A bench will obviously go either side of the tables. No orientation necessary, and I missed that one out there. Looks like we fixed it. Caught it in time. And also some phone booths. Now, I'm just going to place 4 there and 4 there for now. There's no need to overfill that. Okay, so it's currently sleep time, and let's just double check on intelligence informants if we have any legendary prisoners around here. I don't think we do, and I'm going to activate one of our inmates here just to see if we have any traits that we should be worrying about. And look at that. That wasn't opening automatically. Good grief. Yeah, I think we just need some more staff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just gonna get 8 more staff. We should do another shakedown at some point, but I'm too busy building. Anyway, waiting for this person to be escorted to our security room to be interrogated. Probably not the right term, actually. No, not going to do it? Okay, I guess I'll just turn that off then. It says en route. Right, and the suspicion's up. Let me activate someone else. Matt Morgan here. And... No. No, just no, apparently. Deactivate. We'll just turn those off. Okay, fine. I guess we're not going to do any of that. Cool. Security room is set to, yeah, the right security risk, so I have no idea. Obviously, we missed the time to go through the execution process over on the top right, but not a massive problem. I know that we're bringing in food over here, and many people did recommend turning it off in our logistic menu here because we currently have that turned on, but I guess, yes, turning it off earlier would have been better. The reason I have it on at the moment is because basically now that we are at this stage, we can... Hang on, let me just run this along here. Yeah, because now basically we have some staff food needs to come in and go into the staff canteen, and the kitchen's going to be up and running shortly anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So utilities, obviously you can see I'm just placing our utilities along to the toilet and all of those items, and there we are. Still haven't worked out where we're going to put our heating. Almost certainly on little jut outs from this side, and then we'll place the boilers all the way along, so we'll sort that out when we can. You can see all of that just said nope, there's no route. I think it's because the ferry, it's not a route like all the time, so I think we're getting some issues there. We could put lily pads across or anything like that. Oh, we got another death row inmate, Paul France this time. Let's see where the inmate is, and I'm not seeing them. Where is the inmate? Easy way to find out. Prisoner. Scroll right to the bottom. They're there. Oh, they're in reception. I was looking in here, but they were in reception. So, Paul France, prisoner number 310-72515. Sentenced for 115 years for crimes including, well, a lot of murder, multiple counts of murder, torture, aggravated assault, and a bit of cheeky armed robbery. Just a cheeky bit of armed robbery, you understand. Anyway, quick look at this, and we can see that there is, as far as I can tell, no legendary prisoners. I'm surprised that we haven't got more ex-law enforcement, although, to be fair, I have missed quite a few, so, you know, my bad on that one. In terms of the deliveries for the stuff, looks like it's being brought in via the 2 helipads, which is exactly what we wanted, and there's some more coming in as well. Let's have a bit of a guess on what we're going to be received delivered. I reckon building supplies. Nope, it's apples. Cool. I mean, you could build things with apples, and there's visitors coming along, as well as a prisoner that's being released. Okay, I think that ferry terminal is quite... I think it's quite full, isn't it? Yeah, anyway. Over to the kitchen, and we're going to place some cookers right across here. That'll do. In fact, you know what? No, I've already bought them. Doesn't matter. We'll place them in like that. As for the fridges, we'll place them again along like that, and then followed by some sinks, which will go... Oh, we've got a gap of 2 there. We could probably rotate them round, then it would be a little bit better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's fine. And then over to our sink, and then the sinks will basically go along like so. It is massively oversized, this kitchen. We could easily jut out this staff canteen and do that, but, well, it is what it is. Over to our utilities. Obviously, we need to run some water pipes along to there, which is now fine. Electrical cable will be not correct, so I'm going to place one there, and one there, and it should connect up, because when these place, they always place one to the right hand side, so that will hopefully be correct. So we'll see how that one goes. No prisoners going to eat there. Yes, I know that one. I did not build all the way to the outside, so I will build to the edge there. So, we have no walkways around the yard, so I'm going to sort that one out. I'm still in 2 minds whether or not to place a little compoundy type thing in the centre that we have mentioned previously. In fact, while I'm building all this, I might as well just place in all of the rest of this, because, well, we're going to need it, and we have funds available, so let's do it. So, build all the way along here. The security room is almost certainly... Well, normally the security room is wood, however, for the main one up here, it is not, and that one over there as well. So the reception security is probably not going to be that. So let's place those, place all the walls, all the flooring in here, and it's something we don't normally do. Usually we are solely focused on building just the required items. So, like, let me just place some of the garbage bit in here as well. So, like, basically all the flooring is like secondary almost. Well, it's not even almost, it is secondary. But we've chosen to build in here, so I can go like that. Staff room is almost certainly wood, but remind myself, yes, it is fine. Oh, that's wrong tiles. We don't want white tiles, we want ceramic floor around here. And ceramic floor is the same in the kitchen, which the kitchen is here, which we'll build it like so, followed by, what is it, some mosaic floor as well, like that. And is that ceramic? Did we change that? We did change that to ceramic, so I will follow suit with that and go for ceramic. And there's loads of money spent, and cool. So there's about 30 odd grand spent on simply placing the floor, but you know, might as well break the mold, be a maverick and all of that. That's as bold as we dare really get here. And I think we'll place in, obviously, the flooring for the staff room there, and the staff canteen is also the same. So there we go. That's going to increase the increase beautification levels by at least plus 10 generic units of appearance points, and that should be fine. So over on the left-hand side, we did designate these rooms as air quotes something, and didn't exactly denote what it was going to be, but let's go ahead and see if we can do that. So we want a visitation, which will go down the bottom here. Now I'm tempted to shrink the visitation, and what I'll do is use planning and then objects and see how many of these desks we can get in. So this is going to be the standard desks that size, you see, for visitation, and if we do something like that, we can really sort of cramp them in a little bit. Looks like there's some prisoners being released there early, which is good. And even at that rate like that, we've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 visitation, which is actually 4, 8, 12, 16. It's actually one less than over here. The difference being, though, that they can meet up, and this has a lot less people here. In fact, I think nearly half of the prisoners in this facility would be able to go to visitation at any one time. So what I'm going to do is remove one of those, and we will shrink that down like so. And that should be fine. I want to then obviously go to rooms and just remove some of that designation there for visitation. Naturally, it's not built. Well, it's saying it's not legitimate, which we understand. So for the other rooms, we'll go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is going to be, let's have a quick look. Over to rooms, and then we'll go for a shop. So minimum size is 4 by 4, but we'll have it as 5 by a lot more. Actually, do we want to make it a bit shorter? It's possible. It is possible, but is it probable? I'm thinking yes, because the mailroom has to be 5 by 5. So what I'll do is remove... I'll put the shop up there because that is a 4 by something. Remove the shop like so, then replace, or rather place now the mailroom. So we've got reception down... No, not reception. Security in here, visitation, mailroom, shop, followed by a library, which is a 5 by 5, which is now in. We need a parole room, which I'll place... this needs to be a 5 by 5 as well, so I'm guessing parole we can put in here. We also, technically it would be nice to have a laundry, but I don't know whether we're going to put that in or not. We'll see. Let's go ahead and place, well, we don't have a common room in here. That's something that is missing from the design, because these two up here are the workshop. We also do not have a gym, but I was thinking of placing a gymnasium and a common room in the centre. Like have a big building and sort of split that in half. Have the top side as a gym, bottom side as a common room or something like that. But I'm not yet entirely sure which one is. I will think for many hours on which order it will be. In terms of cleaning cupboard, not going to have one. Laundry, no. We do need a classroom actually, so let's place a classroom which is 5 by 5. This is obviously 5 by 5, and then we have a big room up the top there which could be whatever we need it to be. So we'll see there. It looks like we've got another death row inmate here. We're getting quite full. I say quite full, we're actually at half capacity there. And we can see that we have Ed Brindley here, prisoner number 317644049, and they've been sentenced to 66 years for multiple crimes, including murder, rape, torture, murder, and a previous sentence of violent disorder for 2 years. So they kicked off a bit, 2 years, not guilty, and then they've served that, and then they thought, you know what, that wasn't violent enough, and then went, you know, down that line, which was not very good. Anyway, we will see what happens as we progress on. There's a lot of building being made. You can see obviously all this is now being built, and yeah, we've got the visitor helicopter coming in because apparently that's a thing. I'm still unsure as to why we can't turn that off, but there you go. They're inbound prisoners and inbound civilians, but you can't turn outbound off. So yeah, and we have obviously set up the transport, so it is just connected here. Nothing else is connected there. It's just as soon as they just leave whichever way they want, which is actually blocking up a lot of the transport ferries, I would imagine. But once we've built all of this, it shouldn't have nowhere near as much traffic, because obviously the workers are having to go from one side to the other and do all of that. In terms of cash, we have 18 grand. I don't know what else we'll really do for cash. Evaluation, you can see that we have sold all of our shares that we can anyway. Up to 50% is what we own now, which is fine. Grants, we can't get any more grants, but we can go for cell block D, which, to be fair, I probably should have focused on rather than all of the flooring, but hey-ho, I'm not going to cry over that one too much. We can get a bank loan up to $250,000, so the funds are there if required, and to be fair, raise our prisoner capacity to 200 we wouldn't be able to do on this side, but at least prisoners would be able to be transferred. I know there was a discussion regarding the intake and turning on legendary prisoners. That's been open for a little bit, so that's fine. We can also turn on Supermax as well. What I might do is have a look at that. So Supermax, we currently have 14 prisoners but 28 capacity, so I'm going to, just for the moment, turn off MaxSec, keep on legendary prisoner and death row, but I'm going to turn on Supermax, and it's going to fill capacity. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say total prisoners of 12. Yeah, that should be fine. No, actually, let's just make it 10. We'll play it safe. And I think we will go through this process. So, we are scheduling the execution of Paul Sexton, prisoner number 27117092. We have initiated the execution. We have initiated a prison-wide lockdown and tested the facility. We are going to assemble the execution detail and escort the witnesses together. Looks like the witnesses are coming in, and obviously all of the detail. So we have the Sexton's victims' family, 1, 2, 3 of those. We have Sexton's priest, Sexton's victims' family again, all the family basically, and none of theirs. Actually, I don't know if they do get theirs. We're also not able to max it out, and now waiting for that staff door, which thankfully I can override. There you are. So, it says the execution detail. The warden and the chief make their way to the condemned inmate's cell. In addition, the priest or the spiritual leader of the prisoner's choice arrives on site and visits the prisoner in his cell to say final prayers. You can see we are waiting for... There's the warden already there, who is going to meet with the prisoner, and there's the chief standing outside as well. You can see that, they're blinking. Well, yes, that's fair enough. Boat's now heading over to the island, which you can imagine even a little bit of seasickness and anxiety for this one, for the family. Certainly. Coming around the outside, past a water boiler, at least it's warm for them. Every cloud and all that. Shouldn't really make light of such things in the company here, but whatever. You can see the... are going through here. Oh, actually the priest is now going into the cell, and the family and the witnesses are going to come past and sit in these chairs. A little bit of social distancing there, and we will authorise the escort of the prisoner. We'll open that door because quite frankly we'll be there for about 12 hours until they do that. We can see the warden, Sexton, the chief, and the execution witness, which is the spiritual leader. So, Paul Sexton, prison number 27117092. How do you plead? Actually, this isn't dread. Execute. And there we go. Dismiss staff. And that is it. And let's see what happens at the end of that. Final report. The mandated execution of Paul Sexton was carried out at 6:25 as scheduled by electric chair, the presence of witnesses. The standard compensation of 10 grand is awarded to the institution for their part in the process, and it doesn't say that they're later found innocent. So there we are. Apparently they're still on the list there, so I guess it'll take time for them to be escorted out. Okay, I think we will leave it there on this cold autumn morning, apparently. Snow, -1 degree C. So, not bad at all. I'm happy with the progress that we've made. We have planned out a lot of the next episode's options, so classroom, library, all of that, but I think the priority will be to get some of the cells built so that the prisoners can start thinking about that will to transfer. So we'll discuss later on what we're going to do with these cells, but they're obviously going to be higher graded than the rest of this, and once we get the other things in here as well, then the grading will be higher. And also we need to make it a bit warm, because at the moment it's not so much. Yeah, it's definitely not overly toasty. Either way, I hope you have enjoyed this episode and the series thus far. Comments in the comments. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.